Hello, this is Carrie Renshaw with the Community Producers. I'm back with Dave Genio, and we're here at the Robertson Memorial Park, and we're going to talk to Dave today about the upcoming Canada Day 150th birthday. Dave?
Yeah, so thank you very much. We are here at Robertson Memorial Park, one of the beautiful parks within the city of Medicine Hat. And fortunately for us, in 2016, we were awarded one of the 150th celebration gardens for celebrating Canada's 150th birthday. Last year, in the fall, we came out with different community groups, students, seniors, veterans, as well as some of our military personnel, and we came out and planted the tulips within 3 or 4 of the different areas here within Robertson Park as part of the celebration. So we concluded that in the fall, and we now in the fall and then in the spring we had our blooming ceremony. So where all the tulips were able to bloom, showing red and white, and the reason why they were chosen was it signifies the Canadian national flag, of course. So they've come up, they're very beautiful, and we were quite excited to be able to perform such a ceremony and have that here in this park.
Wonderful. Well, you've done a wonderful job. Your staff has exceeded what I could have ever dreamed of doing. The colors, I can see behind us here how the red ones, they're already in bloom, and I'm sure looking at these, they're just about to bloom.
Yes.
So they're going to be very, very beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. We're quite excited. Our staff did a fantastic job. Our horticultural services team leader, Sandy Bixby, and her flower staff last year, and then of course this year as well, continue to do a fantastic job for us. And as well, having the community out to kind of take part, get their hands dirty, get in the dirt, and plant some of the tulips, especially the younger generation, and as well as anybody who is interested in trying to see what it takes to build beautiful gardens like we have throughout the city of Medicine Hat.
I'm sure the community would have appreciated being offered the time to come out and help out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people really enjoyed it. We've had a couple similar ceremonies and planting ceremonies like that in the city, so we're quite excited for this year being Canada's 150th birthday, or with the sesquicentennial that we're celebrating this year. So and probably no better park than Robertson Memorial Park to host that in as well.
Definitely. All right, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be at the Medicine Hat Greenhouse. We'll see you then.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining us here today for the launch of the Medicine Hat Jazz Festival. I'm Cody Hutchinson from CKUA Radio. Every year I love driving down here from Calgary and getting to see what Lyle and his team have been up to and what we've got in store.
We're very excited to have Kurt Rosenwinkel. Kurt is one of the premier contemporary jazz guitar players in the world. We're one of a few places he's stopping at in Western Canada. We're really privileged to have him here. Matt Savage was a child prodigy. If you type his name into a YouTube search engine, you'll see this little 6-year-old whose legs won't even get down to the ground, playing amazing jazz piano. He's 25 years old now. He's gone through the child prodigy stage. He's still an amazing piano player. So we're really honored to have him here. And he's in double bill with Tim Tamashiro. Tim's a vocalist from Calgary. He hosts the CBC Tonic show on CBC Radio 2. And so that's a fabulous double bill we're excited about. Al Muirhead is back. He's 80 years old. He's Calgary's premier trumpet player. And he's back with Lila Bialy, who is a young, up-and-coming piano player vocalist. She was here last year as well. Now they're coming back together.
I've got good news for you today, too. Jazzfest is good for you. I'll tell you why. So neuroscience is now starting to be able to examine the brain in real time, and it tells us that various parts of the brain light up with different activities. But you know what they see when they look at people that are listening or taking part in music? Fireworks. Fireworks. So multiple parts of your brain are working at the same time. I told you, Jazzfest is good for you.
in the big scheme of things, we've been very true to the genre of jazz. When a lot of the larger festivals maybe have found that they've got to have headliners that have really nothing to do with jazz to finance their festival, we've stayed pretty pure to the art form. And I think that has won us a lot of fans in the jazz world as well.
This is also, for me, is the kickoff to summer. Jazzfest that week is just a fabulous week. Everybody comes out, and especially downtown, sitting on the patios. To me, it's so special.
The 2017 Medicine Hat Jazz Festival takes place June 18th till 25th. For more information about the Jazz Fest, visit medicinehatjazzfest.com or email office@medicinehatjazzfest.com. If you are interested in volunteering, email volunteers@medicinehatjazzfest.com.
Why do you look so sad? I just had a talk with my counselor. He says I should start thinking about applying to post-secondary, but I don't know what I want to be when I grow older.
Don't worry, I know a place that will help you.
You do?
Yes, I do. Here, I'll show you.
Whoa, where am I?
You're at Skills.
Skills?
By the way, you're not dressed properly. Here.
Whoa, nice. So what skills then?
I think the skills competition is a great way for high school students to get involved in the trades and technology related careers. It's just a really good opportunity for students to come and showcase their talents and be able to show everybody at this competition all the things that they're capable of.
Tony, where are you? Tony, come back.
Dude, why'd you do that? I was enjoying skills.
So how was your day at Skills?
Like I said, I was enjoying it. I learned so much. There's so many cool stuff here. You can see people do lots of trades, carpentry, welding. There's so many opportunities out there. I think I have an idea of what career I want to pursue now.
That's awesome.
I think many people feel the same way too. Let's get back to skills.
Lebron. I am the program manager for the Southeast Alberta Regional Skills Competition and also the executive director of the Southeast Alberta Partners for Youth Career Development. So this is my second year being involved in putting on this production here of the skills competition. And this is actually the 12th annual competition that we've hosted here in the Southeast Alberta area. So today we have 9 different trades that are competing. And then we also have a Trades and Tech Expo taking place. So we have schools from around Southeast Alberta taking part in the Trades and Tech Expo, so they can come try all the different trades out there and see if there's something that interests them.
So I'm competing in the intermediate hairstyling competition. It's my first year competing, and I'm so far really enjoying it, just being able to see the other trades options that the college has to offer, and it's just a great experience to see like some other schools and their skills that they bring to the competition, and just to, get the experience of competing before graduating, going on to college and picking a career. It's opens your mind quite a bit.
There's a lot of diversity here, and there's a lot of programs for them to check out, and hopefully something that'll take them into the future.
Here in Medicine Hat at the Southeastern region, we compete in 9 different areas. Those areas include baking, culinary art, carpentry, cabinet making, welding, TV video, hairstyling. For younger students that are here visiting, Skills gives them a really great exposure to the trades and to some different career options.
Well, welcome back. Here we are now in City of Medicine Hat's beautiful greenhouse, and I'm here with Dave Genio. Dave, can you tell us about the greenhouse?
Yes, I sure can. The greenhouse was constructed on this premises in 1979, and since that time it's been growing flowers and plants for the City of Medicine Hat's flower beds and throughout the city as well. In every year we grow approximately 30,000 different plants and flowers, over 143 different varieties of plants and flowers. And as well, the greenhouse is responsible for overwintering some of our grasses and cannas as well. So it is a full year-round production in the greenhouse. We are fortunate enough that in January we were able to start seeding some of our plants and some of our flowers, and then usually we finish off in March with planting the remainder of the seeds, as well as some of the plugs that we get for that as well. So we plant them at those times. We stage them in March so that when they are planted into the ground in May, then they actually are ready to bloom almost right away when they get planted into the ground.
So these flowers, these beautiful flowers that are surrounding us right now, were planted quite a few months back.
Exactly.
And I mean, they're absolutely gorgeous. Just the fragrance from them all is just lovely.
Yes.
Okay, so can you tell us, in the process of growing these flowers, I understand that deadheading is something that we should be doing to our flowers. Can you tell me why and how that works?
I sure can. Our horticultural services team leader Sandy Bixby and her staff are responsible for what you see here, how beautiful everything is. They do a fantastic job for us. So yes, in regards to some of the maintenance that we do, they are fertilizing, watering sometimes on a daily basis depending on temperature, etc. But definitely one of the maintenance practices called deadheading is one of the things we do perform on the flowers. The premise system behind that is removing the flower head right when it's about to the leaves or the flowers are supposed to fall off. The benefit of that is when you are deadheading those flowers, it's stopping the flower from sending the production into seed. So when you're kind of rechanneling that energy that's going into the seed production into actually more flower production. So it's beneficial for the health of the plant, but also actually increases the blooming and actually allows the blooming to go further on throughout the season.
Very good. So you would take a flower that has died or is dying and then just pinch it back, is that?
Yeah, so it's more or less when the wilting and the flower petals are starting to fall off, you'd go back almost to, right to the base of the flower, and you'd pinch it right before the leaves there, and then what happens is then that sends that energy to no longer produce seed, but to produce more flowers.
Wow. Well, listen to Dave here, everybody, because I think that's a wonderful tip. I'm going to start doing that. Now, you said the greenhouse was constructed in 1979. Do you still have employees, staff members that work in this area from way back then?
So we do have a couple employees, one particular, and it's good for him, fortunate for him, and unfortunate for us though, because he's such a good worker. He will be retiring this year, but he had been around since the greenhouse had been on the property here and has been working since then. So he's been a fantastic employee for us, and we're happy for him, but we're also sad to have him.
Oh, I'm sure. You're happy for him, but
exactly.
Sad.
Exactly.
I do understand that. Okay, can we go to the choice of flowers? Like how do you decide what to plant? Is it something to do with the colors, or is it something to do with, say, we're in a very arid area. So how do you choose flowers?
So our horticultural services team leader, Sandy Bixby, is the one that is responsible for the choice of the flowers and how that goes into the design of the beds, etc. In our climate, we are, it is a semi-arid environment, a semi-arid climate here. So the good thing for us is the majority of where our flower beds, we have over 30 different locations of flower beds throughout the city. The majority of them are irrigated beds. So from that, we were able to plant almost anything that we would like to plant because they are irrigated and they are in different locations. The design is actually, and what is chosen is, yes, based off of color. We like to plant for all of the entire community, so different areas we like to plant, for all age groups as well. Some people like the older flowers, but we also look at bringing in new types of varieties of flowers each year. So when we're looking at the design of a bed, or Sandy, is looking at the design of the bed, she's looking at the location. Sometimes we are limited in terms of the design on some or color choices, depending if the bed is a sponsored bed, or so that would kind of change. We kind of look to see what the sponsors might be looking for as well in terms of the color, plants, etc. But the majority of it is based off, again, location. We try to add depth and different colors, give it some dimension. So you will see some of our flower beds that are out there that will have different heights. They'll have, just to kind of make them look as best as possible. So you see some taller flowers and grasses mixed with some lower hanging flowers, etc. So yeah, it's very, very in-depth design process. Each location is chosen separately in what we're going to plant. In terms of the color choice, we do look at different things, especially this year with it being Canada's 150th birthday. In conjunction with that, you will see a lot more red and white flowers throughout the city this year, especially up at Robertson Memorial Park, where this year we are on May 11th. We are doing the blooming portion of the ceremony in regards to our tulips that we planted there in the fall. So there you will see tulips that are red and white, and that is for celebrating Canada's 150th. We're quite excited about that.
Oh, no kidding. I bet you're...
This year, in 2017, we have a pilot project that we're working on where we're trying out self-watering planters. So that is to, of course, decrease the amount of water required for the flowers or the plants, as well as also to attempt to try and decrease the amount of maintenance that we have to put into some of our beds. And hopefully we'll be able to go out and see some of the work that our awesome staff put into preparing the beds for the season. And so from that, in terms of watering, like I mentioned, a lot of our beds already have irrigation systems in and around them, so they are able to keep watering, but our staff actually do go out and give some of the flower beds supplemental water depending on if we have high temperatures as well. So
right, especially in temperatures like we're having today.
Exactly.
My goodness. Okay, and also I understand that there is a Save the Bees initiative that's going to be happening down at Police Point. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so this year, again, another pilot project with the City of Medicine Hat, Parks and Recreation Department are taking on. We are wanting to assist the bee population. So we are have a pollinator garden project that is going to be started at a Police Point Park, and people will be able to go to the interpretive center as well to see what is being planted there. And from that, we're hoping that we'll be able to assist the increasing bee population.
All the flowers, do they self-seed? Do you take the seeds from them and then replant them in the new year, or do you purchase seeds? Like, how does that work? Where do they come from? Where do you start?
Yeah, good question. We actually we purchase the seeds every year. It's very difficult. We just don't have the resources or the staffing to be able to go through and harvest the seed off the flowers themselves. So every year, through the planning that Sandy, our horticulture services team leader, does, she will then go from that, and then we then purchase the seeds and the plugs as well. So for different ones, are plugs as well.
Excuse me, what do you mean by plugs?
So it would be a little, very tiny seedling that is in there that is actually a plug that we then transplant and plant into our garden as well. So from that, we are then able to monitor the plants consistently. We can monitor in case there's any infestations or disease. That we know 100% how the flowers are going to turn out, how many times they've been deadheaded, fertilized, etc. So as I mentioned, in January we start to plant some of the seeds like the marigolds and the petunias, and then usually into March is when we start replanting the remainder of the seedlings and the plugs as well. We try to stagger the planting or the seedling and the plugging as well, so that when we go to plant out in our gardens, we are able to then have them pretty much bloom right away and have that presence immediately right after.
Oh, they look spectacular. I just love, well, this time of the year is so nice, but when you have all the beds planted, I mean, it's just, you're so proud of our city. I mean, it just looks absolutely fabulous.
Well, the benefit of the greenhouse as well is that we can hold the plants here until we are planting, which usually we start planting after May long weekend. The reason for that is usually after May long weekend there's decreased possibility of frost. So we go out, and it takes us anywhere between 2 to 3 weeks to plant all the gardens. It takes us the same amount of time to prep them before we plant as well. So our crews are out right now prepping our gardens, getting them ready for planting. The benefit of that is that we can actually go out and plant. We usually overgrow, so we plant and we seed more and grow more than what is actually required for our gardens in the possible threat that there might be a frost or damage via vandalism, or if we actually may have a crop loss. So we plant more than what is required for the gardens. Once we are comfortable and feel that we're kind of out of the threat of frost, what we then do is we then offer any remaining flowers to community groups and organizations within the City of Medicine Hat.
Wonderful. Yeah, I've heard that you send flowers to the seniors' homes and hospitals.
You bet.
And how wonderful.
People are quite excited about that, and we
yeah.
love being able to provide that for the folks at
Definitely.
community organizations.
Well, brighten somebody's day, that's
You
for
bet.
darn sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back right after this. You'll join us again. We're going to do some off-site looking at some of the beds and see how they're prepped. See you soon.
Welcome to Golf Tips. My name is Trevor Moore, PGA of Canada teaching professional based out of Cottonwood Coulee Golf Course here in Medicine Hat, and I want to address the 87% of the people watching today who slice the golf ball. You probably fall into that category statistically. Most people do. Slicing the golf ball is the most common thing that we deal with in our existence as teaching professionals. We work on it all the time. It's tough to work on because there are many things that can cause you to slice the golf ball, but today I want to address one of the simpler ones. One of the ones that can not only help straighten the shot out, but can increase the power in the golf swing as well, or the power you transfer to the golf ball. It's simply about understanding the wrist and arm activity on the downswing. When we look at the downswing, people move into impact, and one of the mistakes we have happen is they move to the golf ball, and they get to the golf ball, they tend to break their wrists. All right, breaking or scooping through impact breaks down that lead wrist, but it does not rotate the club face and square it up at all on the downswing. Slicing is simply a case of an open club face at impact. So what we want to do is, rather than having the break of the wrists through impact, we need to work on taking the arms and wrists and forearms and work on rolling them through impact. So what you will see, big difference, is as I move through the shot here, I roll my arms through impact, which also rolls the club face and squares it through that swing as well. All right, so we want to make sure we're rolling the forearms and the club through impact. And that's really right up here. So again, avoid the breaking wrists, really work on rolling the wrists and forearms through impact. It's a couple of great drills you can do. One doesn't involve the golf club. It's simply getting you in with your arms, trying to understand or isolate the forearm movement. Really, we set up in this position, we just simply get students to swing their arms back, rotate the palms out, or the palm and back out with the forearms, and rotate through. Rotate, rotate through. That's essentially the movement we're trying to work on. The wrist break would look like this, which is not what we're trying to achieve at all. So again, isolating the forearms, getting them rolling, and getting them rolling through. Great drill to really work on finding the movements. Once you get there, you then incorporate the golf club, you bring it into the picture. And you're simply going to hit short shots, only about hip height to hip height with the swing, but you're working on rolling the forearms through the shot. Simply set up, roll the forearms back, and then we roll them through. You can see that we've rolled the forearms over. You can see the arms have crossed. They've rolled over one another. Club face is squared through the shot. It's a great little drill. Hip-to-hip swings, trying to incorporate the squaring of the club face and the rolling of the forearms. Once you get this movement down, you will find you'll hit the ball not only straighter, but you will start to hit it further as well. So get yourself out, work on it. Isolate the forearm movements, roll and square the club face. Not only will you hit it straighter, you'll probably hit it further. Your game will thank you for it. See you next time.
Well, welcome back everybody. Here we are at Viterra Park, City of Medicine Hat, and we're here with Dave Genio from Parks and Rec and some of the staff, a couple of the staff members. And we're going to talk to Dave today about the preparation of, what goes into the preparation of the flower bed. Right, Dave?
Yeah, you bet. So our excellent flower crew, as you can see, are working diligently, and one of the things we do to prep the beds is definitely edging. As you can see, they're performing right now. One of the other things is the crew will then come into the bed and they will till the bed to get it prepped as well, and then actually apply a slow release fertilizer, so when we do go to plant the flowers, they get a nice boost of food and they're ready to go for the season.
Right. Very good. Okay, and now do you go through the same procedure like at the end of the season? What do you do then?
So the end of the season, it's actually a more simpler process. We come in with staff and remove all the flowers, do a little maintenance, any weed control measures we might need to do as well, and then the bed is ready to sleep for the winter. And then we come back in the spring and put in this amount of effort. So our flower crew do a fantastic job. It's a lot of hands-on work to prep the beds, and then more hands work when we go to plant them, and then even more work when we go to remove them at the end of the year.
Definitely. Well, I can see how difficult, well, I know what it's like. I mean, I do have a garden at home, but I don't spend this type of, this time, I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But it looks very, very time consuming.
Yeah, it's
and
very labor intensive, and it takes a lot of work and effort in to do that. So not only, the planning and the work in the greenhouse and everything else of that, it sometimes comes right down to hands in the dirt type of labor to get the beds ready to go for the season.
So once this bed is ready, then you'll start planting the plants?
You bet. So once we're past May long weekend, we have a plan in place where we plant every bed as part of a planting plan. And once the flowers are in the ground, then we move into our maintenance of the flower beds. So that's where we get into the deadheading that we talked about, fertilizing. And some of the beds we do require some more hand watering of the flowers and plants as well, and weeding of the beds.
Mm-hmm.
One of the exciting things that we're doing this year, and we've already prepped the beds as well, as we are working in conjunction with the Medicine Hat and District Food Bank, and converting 2 of our flower beds as a pilot project into vegetable gardens this year. So our maintenance staff will be continuing on with similar maintenance to a flower bed, but this year a little bit different. So we'll be looking at maintaining the beds as a vegetable garden, which can be harvested for the community too.
So it's all harvested for the food bank?
Harvested for the food bank, or as well, anybody that happens to be in the area and they see the vegetable garden, they are able to, if it's ready to harvest, they're able to take a carrot or a vegetable out of the ground and enjoy it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was wonderful to meet you and to spend time in the greenhouse looking at these beautiful flowers and learning more about them. And for those of you out there, if you'd like to learn more yourselves, you can get in touch with the Medicine Hat, City of Medicine Hat, Parks and Recreation. You can go online, or I'm sure you can find the number and give them a call. Thank you very much. This is the Community Producers, Carrie Renshaw, saying see you next time.